Okay, great. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Yoga at the London Buddhist Centre. So my name is Anna, and I'll be doing a 45-minute class with you all. So we'll get started in a couple of minutes. So just make sure that you've got everything you need, that you've got your space and your mat. And yeah, hello to Polly, who is behind the camera and on the comments. And yeah, as always, if you've been here before, then do say hello. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And yeah, particularly warm welcome if it's your first time joining one of these classes. Is anyone saying hello? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'll make a start in a couple of moments and talk about what we're going to focus on today. But yes, very, very, very warm welcome.
Michelle is here.
Oh, hello, Michelle. Great to have you, as always. Hello. Hi. Oh.
He's looking forward to overcoming some laziness.
That's great. Hi, Vidyadhaka. That's really good. I caught sight of Vidyadhaka on my way in, and he was looking very tanned, actually. So I've been spending some time walking. That's good. Yeah, maybe some of you are outside in your gardens or in the park. Okay, so yeah, it's 12 o'clock, so we're going to make a start. Warm welcome if you're just joining us. My name's Anna, and I'll be teaching the class today. And yeah, so we're going to be focusing on overcoming laziness. And yeah, I was thinking about this title over the weekend and doing a little bit of research around laziness from a Buddhist perspective, which, yeah, I thought I'd just share a couple of things about what I found out and ways that we can sort of apply it to today's class. So laziness, I guess it's sort of defined by apathy or a kind of dullness, and perhaps enjoying a little bit too much, not doing anything, and feeling kind of flat, and feeling like you don't have very much energy. And I think there's an important distinction there between sort of genuine tiredness after you've done, you've had a full day, and then also that feeling of apathy that you can get into when you perhaps haven't done very much, but you somehow can't quite bring yourself to shift that state. And I think that can manifest in a physical sense and also in meditation as well. So in meditation, you might be feeling sort of foggy or cloudy. You might be slightly nodding off into sleep, kind of unable to engage with whatever your practice is. But then I think that the other side of laziness can also come from being too busy, working a 16-hour day, sitting in front of your computer, well, I think these two things, they made me think about the fact that quite often, if somebody asks me how I am, I say busy and tired. And I wonder if actually that there is a kind of laziness there. So yeah, I was reading that in some traditions of Buddhism, there is this particular acknowledgement that if you're distracting yourself, if you're busying yourself with lots and lots of work, or lots of things that aren't sort of spiritually productive, that is also a form of laziness. And I was reading this little discourse that the Buddha gives on basically advising one of his disciples on different ways that you can target sort of laziness and that feeling of fogginess and dullness. And it's really great because he sort of lays out, you could try this, and if that doesn't work, you could try that. Or if that doesn't work, you could try this. So, and then finally, the last thing is like, and if none of that works, then you could take a nap. But there are quite a few different stages that, that the Buddha recommends before taking a nap. And a few of those things are to do with the body and to sort of doing walking meditation, or at one point he recommends rubbing your earlobes. But I think there is something there about making the effort to cultivate some energy through a physical practice, and then seeing if that shifts your mental state or your energy levels. So yeah, that's what we're going to focus on in the practice. But I just think it's important to make the distinction between a kind of a laziness and apathy, and then a kind of a genuine tiredness. But we can definitely try to cultivate energy and just see what happens, see where that goes. But of course, if you are feeling very, very tired, or if you're working with injuries or pre-existing conditions, then do just take rests whenever you need to. So we're going to start standing up. So we'll start with a sort of standing meditation. So just come to the top of your mats and stand in I'm just going to move the wire. So come and stand with your feet around hip distance apart. And then just look down at the feet, spread the toes out. And then one by one, just replace the toes down on the ground. And then just have a sense of the energy rising up the body. So this sense that you get a little bit taller here, a little bit taller. And then you can roll the shoulders up towards the ears, and then soften them back, soften them down, stretch the fingertips down. And then that sense of lifting through the crown of the head. And if you like to here, you can close your eyes. I'd like you to focus on the sensations around the upper half of the body. And so sensations through the arms, the hands, the shoulders, the chest. And then up to the face and the head. And I'd like you to take a few breaths here, a few slightly deeper, slightly fuller breaths, and really focusing on that inhalation, sort of drawing in the energy of the breath and allowing it to fill the upper body, fill around the shoulders. Almost as though as you breathe in, the breath could flow in over the back of the face, sort of refreshing. And then from there, on your next in-breath, just reach your arms up over the head. And then on the out-breath, let the arms come down. And a couple more like that. So breathing in, raise the arms up. And breathing out, arms are going to come down. Good. And this time, take the arms up as you breathe in. And then interlace your fingers, but keep the index fingers pointing up. And then take a side bend over towards your right-hand side. So just leaning over. And take a breath in, feeling that left side body fill up. And then come all the way back to center. Stretch the fingertips up as you breathe in. And then lean over towards your left as you breathe out. And think of making that the right side waist nice and long. Breathing in. And breathing out. Good. And then come all the way back through center. Release the arms down. Good. And then soften your knees and come down into a forward fold. So with nice bent knees, first forward fold here. So just relax the head and then just start to pedal out a little bit through the knees. Nice and gently, nice and easy. Good. And then you're going to bend into your right knee. Take your right hand down to the ground, sort of in front of your nose. And then turn towards your left-hand side. You can have your left hand on the back of your pelvis, or reach the left arm up towards the ceiling. And let the hips turn into it a little bit. So let the hips turn slightly towards the left. And the gaze can follow up towards that top thumb. Couple of breaths here. Good, and then look down towards the ground and switch sides. So left knee is going to bend, right knee will straighten any amount. Rotate yourself towards the right. Right hand comes onto the back of the pelvis, or you can reach the right arm up. And again, you can lean into it. So turn around towards your right hand side. Look up. Good, and then slowly come down. Bend both knees, and this time take the hands to behind your back and interlace your fingers. So you might be able to straighten your elbows here. You might not. If the elbows can straighten, then start to let the arms sort of fall over the head. Relax the neck. Yeah, and if that doesn't feel good in the shoulders, then you can just grab a hold of your elbows here instead. Bend the elbows. And so either one of those, just take a couple more breaths. The knees are nice and soft. Good, and then release the hands down towards the ground. Bend the knees a little bit deeper, and then slowly roll all the way up to standing. Good. And then once again, sweep the arms up over the head. Look up, lift the gaze, palms touch, look at the thumbs. Good. And then this time we're going to come back down into a forward fold. Take the fingertips down toward the ground. Good. And then slide your hands up to your shins. Elongate the spine, look forwards. Good. And take the hands down and step back with your right foot. Good. Come onto your fingertips and look forward. Good. And then take the hands down to the ground. And come back to hands and knees from here. So we'll just take a couple of cat-cows. So on your in-breath, looking forwards, let the belly drop down. On the out-breath, press the floor away, round the spine, look towards the navel. So breathing in, looking forwards, maybe slightly up. And breathing out, round the spine, relax the head. Last one, breathing in, looking forwards. And breathing out, relaxing the head down. Good. And then from here, finding a neutral spine, tuck your toes. And then pressing back, come into downward facing dog from here. So lifting up and back, making the body into that inverted V shape. And then just like you did in that standing forward fold, you can start to bend into one knee and then the other. And as you bend into the knees, you can let the hips sway from side to side. So as you bend your left knee, you let the pelvis rotate towards your right and then come through center and go the other way. And just keep pressing the hands forwards and down, and just know that if you need to rest at any point, you can always take the knees down to the ground and come into child's pose. Good. And then look forwards and step the right foot through to between your hands. You can help it along its way if you need to, for a straight leg lunge. So come onto your fingertips, lift the gaze, looking forwards. Good. And then step the left foot alongside the right and fold. Tuck the chin. And then soften the knees. Sweep the arms up. Look up. So look up at the thumbs. Good. And then just take the hands together in front of the chest for a moment. So we're going to do that on the left-hand side now. So circling the arms up as you breathe in. And then thumbs can come down through the midline as you fold forwards. Take the fingertips to the ground. And then sliding hands up to shins, look up and lengthen the spine. And then folding forwards, it's the left foot that steps back this time. coming onto your fingertips. Pull the chest forwards, shoulders back. And then plant your hands. This time, come back into a plank position. Yeah, and if that's too much for you, then you can lower the knees to the ground, so you take a half plank. Otherwise, a couple of breaths in the full plank, spread the fingers wide. And again, the back of the neck is nice and long, the gaze is slightly lifted. Draw the belly in, press the floor away, keep breathing. Good, and then knees will come down to the ground. Body comes all the way down as well. Hands underneath your shoulders, and then rolling up, coming into a low level cobra. So looking forwards, and slowly coming all the way down, tuck the toes, and draw yourselves back into that downward facing dog from there. And spreading the fingers nice and wide. And you might just want to notice the quality of the inner and outer states. So what is the state of the physical body? Is it feeling energetic or is it feeling lethargic? And the quality of the mind, are you feeling sort of cloudy or clear? And when you're ready, looking forwards, come high up onto the tiptoes. And step the left foot through to between your hands, coming onto your fingertips. Look forwards, lifting the gaze. And then step the right foot alongside the left, folding forwards. And then press the feet down into the floor. Sweep the arms all the way over and up. Look up, little back bend. Good, and then hands can come together in front of the chest. And just look at the fingertips for a moment. And just tuning into the breath. Breathing in. And breathing out. Good, and then from there, we're going to come into some standing postures. So go ahead and step your right foot back. We're going to come into warrior one first. So you're going to bend into your left knee, left foot's forwards. Back leg is nice and straight, nice and strong. Reach your arms all the way up over the head. And bending quite considerably into that front knee, if that feels okay on the knee. Back leg nice and strong. If the back knee is feeling like it has pressure on it, then you can just lift the back heel away from the ground. And then arms are reaching over and up. The gaze either to between your hands or join the palms, lift the chest. Try and keep the breath flowing. Good, and then the lower body stays as is. Just take your hands to behind your back. Interlace your fingers, lift the chest, little back bend. And then start to lean forwards. So we're trying to get the left shoulder towards the inside of the left knee. And as you let the chin tuck, let the head drop, you can start to let the arms come over the head as well. Keep pressing into both of your feet. Keep breathing. Lovely. And then pressing into the feet, slowly coming all the way up. Good. Release the arms. And then step the back foot slightly further back. And we're going to come into warrior two from here. So arms are reaching wide. You might want to just straighten the front leg and then re-bend it if it's feeling a bit fatigued. So pressing strongly into both of your feet. And then let's see if we can imagine trying to stretch the fingertips away from one another, away from the midline. That gaze is right over the front middle finger. Good. And then go ahead and straighten out your front leg. So you've got 2 straight legs. Shuffle the back toes in and prepare to come into a triangle pose from here. So left hand is reaching down towards the left shin or maybe onto the ground. And right arm reaching up towards the ceiling. And for today, looking up towards that top thumb and lean the chest slightly back. So if you've practiced with me before, then you'll know that, well, there's different ways that I teach triangle pose, but for today, really focusing on that opening across the front of the chest and that gaze point, that drishti, looking up. Breathing in, pressing into both of your feet and breathing out. Good, and then strong through your legs, slowly coming all the way back up. And go ahead and rebend your front knee. And we're going to come into side angle posture. So reaching forwards through that left hand. Left forearm is going to come onto left thigh. And then a few times circling, so right fingertips drop down towards the ground. And then reach forwards, follow the gaze, follow the thumb with your gaze. And then big circle towards the space behind you. Fingertips come down towards the ground. And then reach over and back. So you can either keep your front elbow on your front knee, or take the left hand or the left fingertips down towards the ground and continue just a couple more times. Good, and then next time your right arm is forwards, just pause, just staying in the side angle posture for a couple of breaths. And seeing if you can look up towards that top hand and then rotate the chest around towards the ceiling or the sky. Couple more breaths. Lovely, and then look down towards the ground and take both hands to the ground, either side of your front foot. Step it back. So either staying in a downward facing dog, or you can rock forwards, come into a plank pose. Take the knees to the ground, and then lower the body all the way down as well. Breathing in, coming into a cobra pose, lift the chest. And then breathing out. Coming back into downward facing dog. And let's do that a couple more times. So you can either stay where you are or rest in child's pose, or rocking forwards, knees and then the body lower down. Inhaling to lift the chest, shoulders rolling back. And then exhaling, coming back to downward facing dog. Last one. So rocking forwards. If you'd rather keep the knees lifted, you can. You can lower halfway to the ground, take chaturanga. Rolling into up dog or stay with cobra. And then coming back. Downward facing dog. Just keeping the gaze nice and steady. Looking to the space between your feet, or tucking the chin a little bit more and looking towards the knees or the thighs. Spreading the fingers. Good, and then when you're ready, looking forwards and step the feet towards the front of the mat. Reach the arms all the way up over the head. Look up, lift the chest. And then take the hands together in front of the chest. And we'll take those standing postures on the second side. So go ahead and step your left foot back this time. So the toes are sort of on the 45-degree angle, so more or less pointing towards the top left. And what I quite like to do is step my right foot out towards the right a little bit. And then bend into the right knee. Reach the arms up over the head for warrior one. So drop the front thigh, lift the ribs, lift the chest, look up. Maybe the palms can come together. Stay with that breath. Good, and then take the hands to behind the back. The lower body stays as is. Lifting up the chest as you breathe in, little back bend. And then start to come forwards, right shoulder towards the inside of the right knee. Drop the head. And then you can slowly start to let the arms come forwards as well. Try to keep the awareness on both of your feet here. So there's a tendency for all of the weight to shift into the front foot. Try and keep pressing into the back foot as well. Couple more breaths. Lovely. And then when you're ready, pressing into both of the feet, coming all the way back up, and then coming into a warrior two from there. So shifting the feet slightly further apart and lining up the front and the back heels. Take the arms out wide. You might want to straighten the front leg for a moment and then rebend. A few breaths here. So again, seeing if you can focus today on the upper body. So feeling that space between the shoulders, that reaching through the fingertips forwards and back. That steady gaze, just focused on that one spot. Good, and then straightening out your front leg. You can shuffle the back toes slightly in for this one. Reach forward through the right hand, and then right hand comes down to right shin or to the ground. Left arm reaches up. Looking up towards that top thumb if it feels okay on your neck. And then again, if it feels comfortable or accessible, then you can start to just open out the chest slightly. Let the head drop back a little bit. Breathing in. And breathing out. Good. And then pressing into both of the feet, coming all the way back up. Rebend your front knee. And then take your right forearm down onto the right thigh. Let the left fingertips drop down towards the ground. And then sweep forwards. Follow the thumb with your gaze towards the back of the room, towards your left foot. And then sweeping down, forwards, over. Just a few more times. And just see if you can try and absorb yourself in that movement. Let's take two more of those. You can stay as you are, or take your right hand or right fingertips to the ground inside the right foot. Good. And then go ahead and reach the left arm towards the front of the room, so it's on the diagonal. Extended side angle. And you turn the chest a little bit more towards the ceiling. Breathing in. And breathing out. Good, and then look down towards the ground. Both hands come down to either side of your front foot. Step it back, coming into a downward facing dog. Spreading the fingers out nice and wide. Lovely, and then this time, let's pull forwards into a plank position. And take your knees to the ground. And then lower everything to the ground, pausing here. We're going to come into a couple of locust poses from here. So you can take the arms back behind you. Start with the palms facing down. So you're pressing your hands down into the mat. Gaze is slightly lifted. And then lift the chest away from the ground. It probably won't go very far. That's okay. And then lift your legs up. If it feels okay in your lower back, you can bring the inner edges of your feet together. If that doesn't feel good in your lower back, then separate your legs. Keep pressing the hands down into the ground. Keep lifting the chest. Breathing in here. And breathing out. Last one, breathing in. And then slowly coming all the way down. Just make a pillow of your palms for a moment. And shake your hips out from side to side. A couple of steadying breaths. Good, and then this time you're going to take the hands to behind your back and interlace your fingers. And then from there, start to straighten your arms, lifting the chest, lifting the legs as well. And again, maybe the inner edges of the feet can come together. Gaze is slightly forwards, but the back of the neck is still long. Just feeling the back body lighting up. For 2 more breaths. Good, and then letting go of the hands. Hands are going to come underneath your shoulders. And then we'll press back, come back into a downward facing dog from there. Good, and then look to the space between your hands. And step your left foot through to between your hands. Yeah, so left foot is forwards, right foot is back. And you're going to come into a high lunge from here. So the back knee stays lifted, back toes off the ground. So preparing to come into a version of warrior 3. So what I'd like you to do is interlace the hands behind your back. And then really, really slowly start to lean forwards. Gazing slightly forward, slightly down. You might want to hop the back foot a little bit in. And then shift the weight into the left foot and come up into a bound warrior 3. So you're keeping the gaze steady. You're keeping the breath flowing. The supporting leg can be a little bit bent. The back leg is nice and strong. The whole of the back body is lighting up to keep you here. Good. Stay with that breath. And if you come out and you fall, that's okay. Good. And then softening into that front knee, taking a big step back, lift your arms up. And then just pause here in the high lunge with the arms overhead. And dropping the front thigh, lifting the chest. Good. And then hands come down towards the ground. And just change sides. So step the left foot back and step your right foot forwards. So pressing into both of your feet. Coming all the way up. High lunge. And then hands are going to come to behind your back. Lifting the chest. Roll the shoulders back and down. And then you might just want to hop the back foot slightly in. Lean forwards. And then lifting that left leg up. Try and roll the toes of the left foot down towards the ground. Keeping the gaze nice and steady. Keeping the breath flowing. You might find that it feels very different on one side to the other. I know it does for me. Keeping that interlace if you can. If you can't, don't worry, just let it go. 2 more breaths. Good, and then soften into that standing leg. Take a big step back. And then circle the arms up for a moment, just pausing in that high lunge. It's probably feeling quite strong in the legs. Just seeing if you can shift the awareness into the chest, into the arms, to the breath. Good, and then hands come down to the ground. Step back, so coming into downward facing dog. You can either stay as you are, you can rest in child's pose for a few breaths, or you can roll forwards coming through a plank, taking the knees down or keeping them lifted, lowering down, lifting up into a back bend, and then pressing back into a downward facing dog. And then just time for one more, if you feel so inclined. Looking forwards, looking up as you come to your back bend. And then drawing back. Downward facing dog. Good. And then let's all take the knees down towards the ground. Good. And then just take the hands a big step forwards. So you're going to keep your hips over your knees, so don't let the hips move forward or move back. I quite like to tuck my toes under for this one. And then you can take your forehead down towards the ground. It might not reach the ground, in which case that's fine. Just let the back of the neck lengthen, let the chin tuck. And just feeling for the sensations around the shoulders. Just feeling the breath. And if you're very, very mobile here, then you might be able to get your chin or your chest down towards the ground. I am not one of those people. Just taking a couple of deeper breaths. Good, and then coming up and just walking yourself back so that you come to sitting. So we're just going to take a few seated positions here. Now we'll start with a little bit of a release for the neck, because we did quite a few postures sort of looking up towards the ceiling today. So now let's try the opposite. So I'd like you to just interlace the hands behind the back of the head. And then just quite gently, you're going to let the elbows come in towards one another and let the chin drop down. So you're not pulling your head down. It's just the weight of the arms is letting the back of the neck lengthen. And you can even use your thumbs to give the back of the neck a little bit of a massage here. And even in this slightly rounded position, can you keep lengthening up through the spine? Good. And then just coming back up into neutral. And then from here, keep the left fingertips, or take the left fingertips down to the ground outside your left hip. And then you're going to take your right hand to the outside, so to the left side of your head. And then it's the same again. So instead of yanking your head down towards the right, you just let the weight of the arm gently draw the head down towards the right-hand side. And then what you can also do here, so you'll be feeling it on the left side of your neck. What you can also do here is start to slightly resist the pressure of your right hand. So as the right hand draws over towards the right, the left side of your head just ever so slightly presses into your hand. And then from there, you can take some little micro movements. So you can let the chin drop a little bit down towards the chest. And then lift the chin slightly. Remember, not working into anything that is painful. Just easing off if you hit something that feels a bit too tender. Good. And then letting go of that side. And just noticing for a moment whether the two sides of your neck feel different now. And then we can take it to the other side. So let the left ear come down towards the left shoulder. Left hand comes to the right side of your head, the right fingertips come a little bit out towards the right. And as you place your left hand on the right side of your head, you just gently start to resist that top hand. And then little micro movements with the chin. So looking a little bit up, chin lifts, and then looking a little bit down. And just keeping the breath steady, flowing. Lovely. And then lifting the head back up. And then we'll just take a seated spinal twist from here. So take the left hand across to your right knee. And then let's reach the right arm forwards. And then following the gaze, or following the thumb with the gaze, circle the right fingertips down towards the ground behind you. And then on the inhale, lengthen the spine. On the exhale, gently rotate the chest a little bit more towards the right. Breathing in here. And breathing out. Okay, and then stay in the twist. All that's going to move is your head. So you'll go from looking over your right shoulder, your back shoulder, to looking forwards. And then see if you can look towards your left knee. And let the shoulders soften. Good. And then everything derotates back to the midline. And then we'll take it to the other side. So right hand comes across to your left knee. Left fingertips sweep forwards, up. Follow it round with your gaze, over and back. Left fingertips to the ground. Lengthen on the inhale. And then on the exhale, just rotating yourself around towards the left-hand side. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Good. And then from there, so stay in the twist, but just move the gaze so that you're going to look over your right shoulder towards your right knee. So you're just getting a bit of a twist for the top of the spine as well. Good, and then coming through center, and just pause in a seated meditation posture. So you can grab cushions or blocks if you like, and then just go ahead and close your eyes. Just closing the eyes and again tuning into the sensations around the upper part of the body. So what do the hands, the arms, the shoulders feel like? The chest, the collarbones. And the neck and the head. And then if you'd like to stay in seated meditation for the last couple of minutes of the class, then you can do that. Or you can make your way down to lying on your back instead. And wherever you are, just seeing if you can keep that awareness around the upper part of the body. Just tuning in perhaps to the sensations of breath. And if you're lying down and you'd like to stay where you are, then please feel free. And if it's time to move on, then just taking any small movements that feel appropriate, that feel good in your body. And we'll meet in a seated position, we'll meet sitting. And I'm just going to read a very, very short, very short verse from these teachings that the Buddha gave as a way to counter laziness, dullness, heaviness in practice. And he says, "Look around in all directions and upwards to the major stars and constellations. Look around in all directions and upwards to the major stars and constellations." And whenever you're ready, just preparing to open your eyes. If you're outside, perhaps looking up at the sky. And that's the end of today's class. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Yeah, as always, it's really lovely to have you all here. And yeah, I just wanted to say one thing about a course that we're going to be running that starts tomorrow. And it's called Life with Full Attention. It's going to be a course about mindfulness. And yeah, there are still some spaces left for that course. There are limited spaces available, but if you'd like to find out about the course, then you can head to our online website, londonbuddhistcenteronline.com, and search for courses and retreats. And as always, we're really, really grateful for anything that you can give in terms of donations. So if you'd like to be a part of that culture of generosity, then yeah, you can donate, and there's a link below this video to our Just Giving page. Yeah, so thanks to all of you for practicing. So we'll be back with yoga on Wednesday, and Danu Tar will be teaching, and then on Friday we'll have Shraddha Gita teaching, and we'll be continuing this little series of how to work with hindrances in and using our yoga practice to help overcome some of those hindrances. So thanks everyone. Hope you have a lovely day and a lovely week. And yeah, I think we can leave it there.